Mastering reality is what you desire in business and life. I'm going to teach you in this video how you can not only make the money, because all my clients ask me, Alex, you're able to make all this money, doing all this stuff, but how are you able to meet these high level individuals? How are you able to connect and be just super lucky and just go to the motions of life with a smile on always? I'm going to teach you how to not only make money, but connect with people that are ahead of you. Good things happening to you all the time, because that happens to me, because I have mastered a singular skill, and it is called the art of frequency and the planes of reality. Now, what you have to understand is that in this video, I'm going to give you actual actionables that you can do right after you watch this video. It's not going to be wishy-washy. It's not just for, just dopamine that, oh, I watched this, now everything's going to work in my way. No, I'm going to give you actual actionables which you can do on a day-to-day basis that will make you a lot more skillful in your life. Because a lot of people teach about business, but they don't teach about the mental blocks. Because a lot of my clients, they make the money, they're happy with their lives. So what happens to most of them is that they're not able to basically enjoy the success. They kind of resent it in a way. And also on top of that, things just take too long because of their mental frame that they have. They have adopted all these hustle cultures, all these BS, like everything is hard, it's super painful to get rich, all this like kind of like dramatic way people sell their courses, whatever you want to call it. But what I'm about to teach you is how to actually make everything super easy. Like literally everything is going to be extremely easy for you to do. You can make millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's super, super easy, because what you have to understand is that the journey is going to be different for everybody, of course. If I tell my life that I did X, Y, and Z, yeah, the components might be kind of similar, which is like work hard, do all that stuff. But your like path in life, your real life is going to be like the scribble that's here, right? And what happens is that because we see so many other people getting the success, we're like, how is this guy able to make so much money? How is he doing it? And he's kind of like effortless with it. He says he loves his work. We hate our work, right? We're saying they were wondering all day. We're like, bro, like I don't even like why I'm alive sometimes. I've heard those things where people are making money, but they are completely taken away by the success. They're like, I just can't do it. Like it's super hard. I can't sustain it. And just like, this whole mental model is what's keeping you stuck. That's why you are not able to break past any limits that you have, physical, mental, spiritual. Because what you have to understand is that everyone talks about working harder, working smarter, it takes time. But in reality, two people can do the same task every single day. They can work hard, they can work smart, they can take time, they can do all that stuff, right? Same amount of 2 years, let's say it takes them. But one will win and the other will lose. Why is that? Why? Ask yourself this question. Why does this happen? You see people around you who are, I would say, they're doing everything right, but they still lose. Why is that? Because it's of a simple, super simple skill. It's called the 3 planes of reality. Now, what happens is that when you're working smarter, when you're working harder, when you are doing physical tasks, you are only operating from the physical plane. And when you do mental, that's going to be mental, and then there's spiritual. Now, what happens is that there is just like a lot of this woo-woo garbage that people talk about, like these hippies with, like vegans and all that stuff. Now, what they do is that they're good in the mental and spiritual side, but they don't take any action. Then you have the David Goggins and all these sort of people that are out there, and they talk about, you have to go in there and like you have to just work super hard and everything is like so time consuming, all this stuff. They're not operating from the mental and spiritual realm. So what you have to understand is that you cannot pick and choose. You cannot just sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to do mental. I'm not going to do physical. I'm not going to do physical. I can't do mental. What you have to understand is that you have to do it all and you have to do it better than everybody. And that's how you're going to actually win. But this is proven by science. I'm going to teach you that in 2 seconds. But what you have to basically understand is that your perception of how you perceive things literally changes everything in your brain. So frequency, right? I talked about the art of frequency. What you have to understand is all these emotions, you can get them in a second. I can smile right now and be extremely excited and super happy. I can change it. So your emotions are in your hand. A lot of people don't realize that. They say, I'm an angry person, or I'm always cold. I'm always this bad. So no, you can change your emotion. You can change who you are, because maybe your parents weren't good. Maybe you were in a really, really bad environment. I don't know what happened to you, okay? But what you have to understand that we have to lift ourselves and be better than whatever we are right now, okay? So you have to understand this stuff, okay? Enlightenment, peace, joy, reason, acceptance, willingness, courage, pride, anger, desire. Like all these things are emotions which we feel at different points, But rather than reality pulling the trigger, what you do is that you pull the trigger. You change the emotions. You perceive it in a different sense than it actually is. And that's what delusional is. A lot of people talk about it's like, oh, you got to be delusional, but they don't explain what it is. When something is happening, bad or good, it is only bad or good of how we're seeing it. Do you kind of understand? It sounds crazy. This stuff is not usual. Okay, it's not for the lighthearted. But you have to understand that if anything bad or good happens to you, that's because of how you perceived it, how you looked at that, right? You can have a same woman that looks the exact same, right? One dude can call her ugly, fat, disgusting, and other can love her. Okay. Now, of course, like I'm talking like now I'm not talking about go log or something, but in general, I'm talking right. People have different preferences and different perspectives on how they live. Okay. So you have to understand that what you perceive is mentally going to change your entire brain reactivity, and it's super super crucial that you are the one pulling the emotions. You are the one that are mentally sitting there and actually doing the work. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about science. It's not going to be super hard. It's super super simple. Well, you have to understand that how you perceive is everything. This is a double slit experiment. You can Google this, you can Gemini it, ChatGPT it. This is not some woo woo stuff, okay? This is like literal science, double slit experiment. You can search that up. So, what this tells us is that when a particle is getting seen and when it's like going through the slit, right? Let's say this is a slit. If I'm looking at it, it goes in the ways of particles, right? There's like little dots like this, boom, 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 boom. But when I'm not looking at the particle, it changes into waves. Do you see? Do you know how crazy that is? Like people, you don't understand the depth of this. A particle which has zero external support given to it, nobody is tinkering with it, right? You go in there, you touch it, like literally, it's like you're not even touching it. You go in there, you look at it, and it changes. It goes from making these little dots to now being in these slits, in these waves. Do you know how crazy that is in like scientific terms? Like that is insane. Okay, so how you perceive things is everything. Even the fucking particle changes the behavior if it is perceived or not. So why would you act from work is hard, path is suffering, everything is hard, it takes a lot of time, it's not easy, when you can cut corners and just change how you think? Like, doesn't that make more sense? Isn't that not more like energy efficient, whatever you want to call it, to yourself? Like how much easier it is for you to sit there and just change how you're thinking about this stuff. Work is fun. The path is amazing. Everything is wonderful. It doesn't take a lot of time. What downside are you going to have if you just change the way you're thinking about all these topics? The reason why I hate this guru culture and people talking about, oh, it's going to be hard. It is hard, okay? It is hard, but not for you. Might be hard for other people. I love my work. I love making these videos. I love when people call me out. I love when I get hate. I love when I'm loved, okay? I love it all. Because how I'm perceiving it changes my entire behavior. And this is why you are stuck what you're doing. A client refunds. Oh, this is so bad. You have a break in your funnel. Oh, this is so bad. Everything is so hard. Oh, girl leaves you. Oh, this is so sad. But like, there's another guy who's like, oh, my funnel broke. Now I know why it broke. Let's go. Oh, my ads are not working. Now I can fix them. Oh, my girl left. Yeah, she was a demon anyway. So let me leave her. Like, you see how you sitting there and just looking at your mentor being like, okay, XYZ happened here on my computer. I'm not dying. I'm breathing. I'm alive. And this just happened. Now you can perceive it to be a bad thing or a good thing. The choice is yours. And how you perceive it is going to change entirely the conception of your life, the entire trajectory of your life. That's why some people are just constantly stuck. There are people that every year make a New Year's resolution that they're going to lose weight, they're going to get jacked, and they don't. Why is that? Is it because they want to be fat? No, because they can't perceive themselves as being a fit person. They can't mentally get prepared. That's why mindset is so important. You know, even I am a little bit against the mindset stuff because I'm like, most people don't act. Or when you're acting, when you are actually a business owner that, make like 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, whatever you're making, right? That's going to change your entire perception on work because now you are working so much that you have to perceive it and you have to kind of relax. The reason why the beginner advice is beginner advice because beginners are not moving. So to make them move, you make them feel shame and anger and all these emotions. But once you're moving, once you're actually making the money, once you're actually sitting there putting in the work, then you have to shift to being like, okay, I'm taking action. Everything is good. Everything's wonderful. I'm doing fantastic. That's how you actually make the changes. Okay, so this is gonna be super super good. Close your eyes. Literally, do this with me. Okay, do not sit there and cheat this. That's why this is like in the last parts. Close your eyes. Okay, now do it with me. Let me just do it. Think with emotion. Think whatever you desire. Go into a nice place, whatever the case is, and put a smile on your face. I look so weird. Put a smile on your face, and now think of where you want to be. Feel that emotion. Be excited. Be like, yes, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be doing this. Yes, yes, yes. Think in your mind. This is where now manifestation is going to work. That's where it works. That's where everything changes. That's where your entire life. Like, let me give you a real life example. This is super key. I was sick. My voice is still kind of weird. I'm talking a little bit weird, I know, because I have a cold. Okay, now this cold was it's insanely bad. Okay, this was like super bad. How did I change it? I sat there and I'm like, I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I'm fit. I'm fit. Sounds crazy. It is delusional. But what happens? 2 days in, I'm fine now. Everything is wonderful. I'm feeling amazing. I'm smashing PRs in the gym. I'm constantly working out. I'm able to move. I'm able to do all this stuff. How is that possible? Because I thought with the excitement, my emotions, and I perceive it to be a good thing. I perceive that my body is healing. I perceive that, hey, I'm getting better and I'm getting stronger. I'm not saying then, being like, oh, this is so bad. I'm not doing any of that. I'm being like, yes, this happened. Let's go. Let's do the next thing. Boom, boom, boom. Work, work, work. Let's just do it. Okay. So now what you have to do with your dreams, now on a side note, is when you do it daily, you want to reach a point where you're no longer excited. Where it's like, yeah, it's all right. It's good. Like you do it that much, like whatever your dream is, like me traveling, that's the reason why I'm able to, like travel to nice places. I'm able to do podcasts with people that are like way, way higher than you, making like 300-400K a month. I'm at like 50. My channel has 100 subs, by the way, guys. I'm grateful to all of you who have subscribed, from the podcast, from all these places. And we hit 100, right? That was amazingly good. I didn't even think about it right now, but I'm grateful for it. Okay. Now, what you have to understand, I have 100 subs. This guy has 100K. This guy has like 10K subs. There's no possible way he would do it. Like, if you look at it from reality, if you look at it from the sense of like, hey, this is not possible. It's not plausible. You're gonna feel like, no, like this is just not gonna happen. But because I was delusional, because he put up his story, because I replied, because I sat there, and then 2 months later this happened, it happened. Now, I'm not saying that I sat there and manifested it, but I believe that's gonna happen, and it did happen. And this is not the only guy. This is a really, really small example. I know billionaires, and I'm not like exaggerating stuff right now. I literally know billionaires, and I can talk to them, and they respond and all that stuff. And like, it's just like I just shoot my shot. I just do the thing. Like, there's nothing that's kind of stopping me from that. And I think you guys have to realize that as well. As you're moving in this journey, just ask, just do things, guys. It will happen. You have to believe that stuff. I did not make this so that maybe me making this will change your life, and hopefully it does, because I truly feel for the business owners that are out there and they're working super, super hard, but they're just mentally strained. Because a lot of my clients have the same issues over and over again. I teach them, hey, you have to get out of this realm of just, like work, 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 work. It works in the beginning, but then you're gonna go down and drain. That's what people say. I love what I do. It's basically this. It's you perceiving it to be good. You get obsessed with it. You pick parts that you like. Okay, so that's what you do. Now, this changed everything. If you are doing this practice of manifestation with emotion every single day, this will literally change your life. I'm not even kidding. But I said in the start of the video that I'm gonna give you actionable. I'm not gonna like sit there and like give you all this woo-woo stuff. So this is what you do. You manifest with emotions. You sit there and you're like, yes, this is going to happen. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's the first part. Second, you monitor and select your thoughts. This is super, super crucial as well. Because if you're going to monitor and like actually see your thoughts, it's going to be super, super different. Because you can select then. You can be like, okay, this one was a good one. Let me have it. I'm rich. I'm successful. I'm XYZ. Let me pick that thought up. I'm poor. I'm ugly. Let me remove that. You have to select your thoughts. A lot of people think like, oh, I just think of random stuff. And like, let me give you an example. Cause I get this question the most. Have you ever held a cousin's baby, or or like you just go to an event, you see a baby, you're holding it, and you're like, oh, what if I just like throw this little guy down the stairs or something? We all have that. We're like on the edge of a building, and we're like, what if I just throw this little guy? Do you actually throw him? Do you actually throw him? Do you actually throw the baby? No, never. And if you are, then I don't know, there's something wrong with you. But but most of us would not throw that baby. Okay, so those thoughts, they're gonna come in. You constantly are gonna have thoughts which are bad, which are good. You have to select which are gonna take towards your goal, and the other ones which are not taking towards your goal. Because once you do that, you're chilling, bro. Like it's super easy now. Because you're always in the emotions of happiness. You're always excited. You're always energetic. You're always seeing them be like, yes. And if you haven't seen my energy video, I would really highly recommend seeing that out. I talk about stimulants, all this stuff, and which is super good for you. So you can check that out as well. Now, behave like that guy you are already. Okay, you have to do this now. This is where the action part comes in. So I want to invest in this program. I want to do X, Y, Z. I want to work with Alex. I want to do this and this and this. Go ahead and do it. Book that call. Do that stuff, okay? Not just for me. Anybody that you want to do or work with, do that. Don't care too much. Don't think too much. Let me tell you one little secret. Thinking is only for not thinking the bad thoughts. You think to not think the thoughts that you don't want. That's what thinking is. When people think, when they're thinking like this, when you hit that pose, right? You're sitting there and you actually are like, this is good for me, this is bad for me. Because a lot of the thoughts are not even yours. You might see it on social media, your parents might give it to you. You're gonna have those thoughts which are extremely bad for you, but you have to sit there and be like, okay, this is not me, this is not who I am, and this is not my identity, and I'm not gonna do that. And it's pretty simple, okay? And pull the trigger. And remember, this is super important. Until death, all defeat is psychological by Jacko. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.